Kevin Owens has always been a outspoken person. He's always spoken his mind, yet he's remained loyal to WWE after being there for over a decade. Over the years, he's had to deal with Vince McMahon and Triple H. In today's video, we are going to be discussing some interesting comments that Kevin Owens made about the former WWE CEO and chairman of World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, look, there has been criticism of Vince McMahon over the years for various reasons. Booking, matches, storylines, things just not making sense, or his personal life. There was obviously issues in WWE over the years. How couldn't there be over several decades? But in the last decade or so of Vince McMahon's regime, well, things were god awful to the point where storylines and matches and feuds, they were just dropped without any explanation, and this infuriated WWE fans and Kevin Owens. Now, before we get to today's video, I want to call to action. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and comment down below for more wrestling content. Now, while doing a recent interview with Adrian Hernandez of Unlikely, Owens discussed a big shift in the approach of social media since Triple H's assumed main roster creative. In the summer of 2022, the hush money scandal broke involving Vince McMahon opting him to step down as CEO and chairman of WWE while remaining the majority shareholder of the company with more voting rights than anyone. He ultimately forced his way back into the board in January of 2023 before ultimately selling it to Endeavor a few months later and forming it into TKO with the UFC. Now, he is no longer there. He is never coming back. More on that later. Now, while speaking with Adrian Hernandez, Owens discussed the big shift in WWE. He said it's definitely been a shift in mindset from people at the top. Our fans are smart and watch our product and pay attention and remember things, and can remember things a lot better than other people that were in charge because they thought they would, I guess, don't remember half the stuff we did. The fans do because the fans care and pay attention to what we do. He continued, I had arguments with people in charge before. No, this happened 3 weeks ago. They're going to remember. They said, no, they won't. Yes, they will. You're insulting the intelligence by pretending they won't. Now, obviously, Triple H does not think like that. In fact, he knows that fans remember and he applies it and uses it various different ways. It makes the product way better, in my opinion, and everything like that. Now, Owens continued by stating, when I was a kid watching, when I was 12, 13, 14, even though I was just a kid, I watched it and remembered everything. When the Sultan showed up, I knew it was Rikishi. Why is he the Sultan? Fans are smart. It's a great way to see the product leaning into that now, end quote. So you have to keep in mind that WWE's popularity has not been this strong, this hot since the Attitude Era. People romanticize the Attitude Era just like they romanticize the Golden Era in the late 80s. And fans will, glorify this year or this time period as well. That's just what happens when you look back on things. You think it's either way better or you forgot how good it was or forgot how bad it was. If you look at it from a financial standpoint, yes, WWE has never been hotter, and it is because they were acquired by Endeavor, and that's why they are getting cities to bid on PLEs and just TV. That's why we're going to get a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. That's why we're going to get one day a WrestleMania in the UK or Saudi Arabia. It's just going to happen. And Kevin Owens is going to be part of that. Now he signed a new deal either last year or earlier this year, depending on which report you want to believe. They usually sign talent to 5 years deals, and he's going to be there for a while. If you look at the way that Kevin Owens was booked under Vince McMahon, it's not that much different from what he was booked under or still is booked under Triple H, right? Like he was obviously a Triple H guy in NXT, booked very strongly there, but on the main roster, he's always been that way. Whether it's Vince McMahon or Kevin Owens, or excuse me, Triple H in charge, Kevin Owens has never been the guy, right? He's always worked with top tier talent. He's always been in main event scenes. He's always challenged for championships, yet he's only won a Universal Championship once, aka a world title or a WWE Championship in that regard. That's not to say that he's not found a ton of success. Think about it. He came in 2015 and won the NXT Championship. Quickly won it after debuting and feuding with Sami Zayn and ultimately Finn Balor. He made his main roster debut that same year and made a notable impact by beating John Cena in his first WWE pay-per-view match. The year later, he went and won the Universal Championship in 2016 from help with Triple H and had a memorable partnership with Chris Jericho. I mean, come on. Festival of Friendship is one of the greatest segments in the history of WWE. And since that time, he's become a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion. He's won both of these titles multiple times and had classic feuds with AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and even Roman Reigns. He's found tag team success by winning the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships with Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 39 in 2023 by defeating the Usos in a historic main event. How about the Royal Rumble in 2023? He challenged Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship in a dramatic match that led to Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline. Now, he is on SmackDown and he remains a major force on SmackDown, often feuding with the Bloodline, Logan Paul, and other top stars. His intense, no-nonsense personality makes him a fan favorite, and he's always in contention for championships. That's not going to change. In recent months, he's been in a feud with Cody Rhodes. Obviously, they did their first match at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. That was when Owens just absolutely brutalized Cody Rhodes and turned heel, kicking off one of the best stretches of Kevin Owens' career up to this point. He then ultimately lost to Cody right at the Royal Rumble in a brutal match. He went and worked another brutal match with Sami Zayn in Elimination Chamber, and now he's squaring off with Randy Orton, a future WWE Hall of Famer, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in a showdown at WrestleMania 41. Now, I do like the fact that they did have him get a win over Sami Zayn and put Sami Zayn on the shelf, but there is a trend here I'm not a huge fan of. I do not like the fact that WWE insists on booking Kevin Owens to lose major feuds. It's always been a knock on him. But he's always a guy that if you need a good segment, if you need a good promo, if you need a good match, if you need a good feud, if you just need a good hand, that's Kevin Owens. That is Kevin Owens in a nutshell. That is Kevin Owens in the last, 10 years or so, where it's really mind-boggling because it's like, what is this guy lacking that you're not seeing? Like, he has a presence, he has aura, he has charisma, he can talk, he can work, right? He gets in-ring psychology. He's a company guy, he's a loyal guy. Like, what is it that Kevin Owens is necessarily lacking? I don't know. Um, he's talked about how in the past where with his Universal Championship run, he took it for granted, right? He did not appreciate the moment. He was always looking for what's next. What can I do here? What can I do there? Instead of just enjoying the moment, right? Because look, the championship run was lackluster, but his partnership with Chris Jericho, which should have been for the Universal Championship at the WrestleMania 33, that should have been for a title. But instead, they obviously put it on Goldberg at Fastlane. Goldberg dropped to the Lesnar at WrestleMania that year, and I think a very overrated match, but I digress. I mean, it's Goldberg, it's Brock Lesnar. There's only so much you can do with those two talents and their styles, but like, I hope and I think Kevin Owens will get another championship reign as world champion in WWE. I just don't necessarily seeing it being as WWE champion. I see it more as a world champion. That's not necessarily